skateboarding and music goes hand in hand. It's literally the same thing. Like skateboarding is dancing on wood at a rhythm, and so is playing drums. So actually, like, I see a lot of drummers that come in the park and they skate better than everybody else because they understand that rhythm and that flow.
Welcome everybody to Nashville Drummers Podcast, episode 36.
Today's guest is Lleyton Brainard, who is the winner of the 2023 Drummer Duel that was put on a few months ago from Soundspace, and part of that prize package was a featured interview on the show.
Illustrious prize package. How lucky you are to come on to our beautiful, perfect in all ways, magnificent show. No, really, we were so pleased to have Lleyton on. He's such a cool dude. He's really, if I had to describe him to just a random passerby in a few moments, like, he's spacey and intelligent and hilarious. And that is a combination that I love.
Totally agreed. And it was cool diving into, of course, being the winner of the Drummer Duel, just talking a lot about his approach to drum solo, and we talk about storytelling and his favorite drummers and just kind of how his mindsets have really helped inform his playing. Lleyton is also an avid skateboarder, and that was a really cool topic that we discussed, the parallels of the art and the craft of skateboarding and the idea of creating style and having your own personality. And like you said, like, his personality is totally what you'd expect on the drums. He's prepared, but like, he's quietly prepared. He's not, a bombastic player in your face kind of a guy. And I think we heard that, in the solo.
And that's the thing. He's a guy who, anytime I've heard him play, anytime I have ever heard him play, it's always super fresh and interesting and fun to listen to. I never get bored listening to him, which is part of why he won the whole thing. Side note, we also talked briefly about my least favorite word in the world. So stay tuned for that.
We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of the Nashville Drummers Podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can check us out on Instagram at Nashville Drummers Podcast, and head on over to our website, NashvilleDrummersPodcast.com, where you can find all of our past episodes and browse our collection of merch. We hope you enjoy.
Let's talk about you.
Hi.
We're here with Brainard?
Lleyton Brainard.
Brainard.
What a cool name.
That is a
Thank you.
badass
Thank
name.
you. You can thank my mom.
Yeah. Did she name you your last name?
No, she didn't name me my last name.
All right. Well, then I'll thank your dad.
Thank my dad. Yeah.
Lleyton's a cool name too, but
Thank you.
specifically Brainard, I was like,
Right.
with the that a name comes from usually some sort of historical thing that your family was doing. Like, what was your family doing 200 years ago? What was that?
Probably Viking stuff. Just casual Viking stuff.
Are you a Swede?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Are you?
brother. I'm a Swede.
Let's go.
Nice.
Volvos.
Yep.
Volvos and pastries
Yes.
and mountains.
Do you do lefse?
What's lefse?
Yeah, what's that?
Oh, man. So among the scandos, my favorite treat that they make, it's like a tortilla made of riced potato. It takes like a day to make.
Wow.
And it's, when I say it's like a tortilla, like that sounds boring, but it's, I swear to God, you just put a little butter on it and the best. It's like the best tortilla you could dream of having.
Oh my.
It's just so perfect and soft and fluffy.
Sounds
I could
good.
go on and on about it. And every Thanksgiving, we would do that. And then I would have my Thanksgiving Day burrito with turkey and, mashed potatoes and all the stuff.
Oh, Lord.
Lleyton, what's your go-to Thanksgiving dish?
Probably smoked turkey.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when it flakes off the bone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bone-in turkey.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. It's pretty solid.
Are you a big plate the first time guy? Well, first of all, do you have a big appetite?
Yes.
Okay. So are you a big plate the first time guy, or are you a smaller plates multiple times?
I would say big plate first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I commit.
Nice. I really
go
like that.
in.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a multiple trip. I'll do like medium size. I've got a huge appetite, but I'll do like a medium sized plate, and I'll do like 4 trips.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'll normally do 1 giant plate and then smaller second, third.
Right.
You know, depends.
I feel like with the multiple trips, I'm fooling myself into thinking that I'm eating more, and I just want to eat all of it because I'm a complete freaking glutton.
Yeah. I've been a glutton lately, man.
Yeah.
A lot of bread.
A lot of bread.
A lot of bread.
What kind of bread? What's your go-to bread?
Dave's Killer. Dave's Killer bread. Yeah. And why does he look like John Petrucci from Dream Theater?
I have not noticed that until now, but he totally looks like John Petrucci.
He is John Petrucci.
What if John Petrucci was just like, it's my pseudonym, but then like he made his like it's literally a cartoon of you, dog. It looks like you.
Yeah.
Literally. Wow. What if anyone's ever told him that? Like, hey, are you the guy from the bread?
Man, if he hasn't heard that, I hope he hears this podcast because he probably deserves to know.
Oh. This is going to be a great podcast.
Oh, yeah. We're hitting all the heavy topics first.
Dude, let's go.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Bread, water.
Well, okay. I'll give some brief context for those that are like, what is going on? For those that have already turned off the episode, probably. But yeah, we're here with Lleyton Brainard.
Yeah.
The winner of the first ever Drummer Duel, which was put on by Soundspace, June 3rd, hosted by Daru Jones. Really cool event. Woo-hoo. Awesome night of drumming, community, camaraderie.
Yeah.
So glad to have you here and stoked to, learn more about you. Because Nate and I just met you that night.
Totally.
So.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm going to say this as like I'm an honest person. I'm just going to be always shoot you straight. When I watched all the tryout videos, I was like, you can't tell. Like there are dudes whose audition videos, I was like, I don't know what you think is going to happen. And I'm like, everyone was better than their tryout videos, which was awesome.
Agreed.
It was very, very, very happy to experience that. Like, thank God.
Yeah.
Like, what if everyone got up there and just sucked? Like that would have just killed me inside. And when you started playing, I was like, God damn, yes.
Yeah. Okay, exactly.
He can play.
Yeah.
All these guys can play. This is really cool.
Yeah, everybody played.
Yeah.
It
was
everybody
awesome.
did.
So walk us through how you even heard about it, how you got involved.
Yeah, so I just saw a little thing on Instagram. Said, got chops on drums? I said, yeah, I think so. And I auditioned. That's how I heard about it.
Dude. And the audition was that like an online form that you had to just submit?
Yeah, it was just a form with a couple different cues and stuff. Yeah. So I just submitted. It was a couple of my Instagram videos actually.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And here we are.
Had you done any sort of drum battle, Guitar Center?
That was my first competition.
Yeah.
First one and
wow,
dude. Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that's so cool.
It's pretty stoked.
What was your mindset? Give us like how you were feeling, leading up to it, and then just day of, like how you were feeling.
I mean, I didn't even know I got in until like 4 days before.
Yeah.
So I looked at the email and I thought I didn't make it. I was like, dang, there must have been some really good applicants. And
especially being in Nashville.
That was my mindset. It's literally Music City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I saw the email and I was like, wow, that's crazy. It was like this mountaintop experience for sure.
Yeah.
And then leading up to the competition, all I did was play. Literally all I did was play. And I realized that I must have been ready.
Yeah. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
Exactly. Yeah.
What kind of stuff were you practicing? Like, were you specifically throwing on a loop, doing sheds, playing along the tracks? Like, what were you...
knowing like the criteria of the competition, I focused on improving to a click and improving to tracks because we didn't know what was going to be thrown at us on stage.
Yeah. And did you know that you wouldn't know the tracks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of came in somewhat in the dark about exactly what was happening. Like we're getting there. I'm like, so what's this going to look like? And then only when things actually started going did we go, okay, this is the thing.
Right.
Like it's really exciting and terrifying because we don't know.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. I can only imagine what it felt like for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of those tracks were barely tracks. There was more silence than there was track.
Yeah, there were 2 tracks, and this is the one critique. There were 2 tracks that I felt like shouldn't have been on there. I was like,
Yeah.
that was totally left field. The one that was like almost nothing but just
Right.
silence and whale noises. Like, what the fuck is this?
Just start chopping.
Yeah.
Just start chopping, man.
Right? Like at that point, I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
guess you get to do a freeform solo over this. 'cause
Apparently.
there's like no time.
Right.
Yeah, how do you prepare for that? So again, people that weren't there, basically 2 drummers on a stage, 2 drum sets,
Yeah.
graciously sponsored by Andy at Drum Supply, I will mention.
Thank
And
you,
Shure
Andy.
And he's
microphones.
a freaking man.
Thanks to Ryan also for the mics and everything.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, basically 2 drummers. First, it was a track that they had not heard before. You just had to
Right.
play along to it. And then it was like a free form, kind of typical shed, more of a
Right.
drum solo.
Right.
And then yeah, the audience basically just judged after that. But yeah, what was your first reaction? Like, because what round were you in? Do you remember?
I was started out round 1
That's
against
right, yeah.
Byron.
Yeah, you were the first guy too, right?
Yeah, first
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
So like, take us through that moment where the track is literally playing, everyone's there,
Yeah.
you're finally on stage.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I like the first track I got was this like group of 5 weird arpeggiated synth kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I found myself trying to hop right in, and then I'm like, wait, let's hear what's going on. So I kind of just started riffing on some 16th note grid kind of stuff, just kind of riffing on that. And then the downbeat hit, and I'm like, oh man, this is right up
Wasn't
my
where you
alley.
thought it would be?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I knew immediately as it started playing, I'm like,
It was like a
this
release.
this is right in my vein.
I
So
saw that expression on your face. I saw it change from you like searching
right.
to like, I saw your face to like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill this.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, yes!
I have arrived.
I'm like, I know that. I know that face.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Like he's about to just murder this. And it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
man. Thank you.
That's something that Nate and I, because Nate and I were giving feedback, or not feedback, live commentary upstairs, which is super fun. And that's something that we noticed, not just with you, but specifically on the tracks, the drummers that waited and like used
Yeah.
their ears first
Right.
before just jumping right in,
Yeah.
it you normally resulted in a better performance,
Yeah.
Yeah.
better outcome. And it was cool.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were multitasking of like you were listening, but at the same time, it wasn't like you weren't playing. You were doing the cool like 16
Yeah.
kind of like getting ready for it, right?
Right. Yeah. That's the
cool.
crazy part about music is you're listening and playing at the same time. That's
Yeah.
what was so cool about this competition, man.
Yeah.
That I felt like that specifically the tracks really highlighted that part of it. Like, well, now this isn't just a chops competition. Like, this isn't. I'm like, I love chops.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Chops
big
are
chops
great.
guy. That's for sure a thing.
Yeah.
But it is built on top of your ear. You
Right.
have to listen. And
Right.
if you're not listening, like when people talk about like, well, you have to play to the music. That is, of course, subjective.
Right.
But if you're literally not listening, that objectively is
Yeah.
not playing to the music.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Right.
that's it. And
Yeah.
one of my favorite things was watching the drummers because, again, for everyone listening who wasn't there, they didn't know how the tracks went. They'd never heard these songs before. And so not only did they not know how the transitions would happen, they didn't know where the songs would end. But I
Yeah.
loved hearing what people would do when the track would end. Like some people were able to predict it,
Right.
and some people would go over it and then make some sort of musical ending post track ending. I
love
that.
that.
Was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
really satisfying. Like that's it. That's what you have to do. And that's if you're in a jam setting or you are playing a song with an artist that you don't know, but like it's just like this. You can miss an ending and still not throw off the whole show
Right.
or make yourself look like an idiot.
Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's happened to me pretty much every time I've subbed down there. You know.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Carlos. Did a really good job at that. Who came in second?
Carlos
Props to
did
Carlos.
amazing.
He was the man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
What a
cool to
guy.
see.
Yeah.
But yeah, talk us through switching gears from the tracks to now the solo part of it.
Yeah.
Did you? Cause I think we noticed like some drummers definitely like rehearsed maybe how they would start it, and then maybe just had something they were gonna do in the moment.
Yeah.
What was your take on that?
We didn't even know we were going to be freestyle soloing
Oh my gosh!
until the
So
day.
you
of the-
really had no idea.
We really had no idea. So really, I mean, I practice improv anyways. I'll usually spend about 15 to 20 minutes as soon as I sit down on the kit, just speaking whatever I feel.
Nice.
And so that came more naturally to me to just sit down and hear certain things in my head and just go with it, tell a story.
Yeah.
That's really my mindset when it comes to playing a solo, is like open hands. Here we go. Open ears.
Dude, you just said, I'm so glad you said tell a story, because that is exactly, and you can ask Dan because he was there. That is exactly why I said you won. I was like, he told a story.
Dude,
Like
thank you.
all three of those solos was like, you told a story in every single one. And also, only person to solo in 7. So, that was.
You got that.
I know Nate picked up on that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't even counting, but
I'm listening.
I'm going to assume
Again.
that's correct.
I'm listening. So you just proved my point in such a fantastic way. There is so much value. Like, you can play, you can have great groove, you can have incredible chops and interesting phrasing, and still destroy it on a track.
Yeah.
There are drummers who can just kill it, murder it on a track, and then if you put them in a solo situation, you're like, well, Mike, that's good drumming, but it needs something.
Yeah.
And that something is usually a narrative.
Yeah.
It's like some sort of story. It needs to lead people. Like, this is a journey. Like,
Yeah.
think of yourself as an audience member. What are you trying to convey? And
Exactly.
I did a little. I did 5 days at LA Music Academy when it was still LA Music Academy. They changed their name, but I remember going in for a lesson with one of their instructors, and I was like, he's like, what do you want to learn? I'm like, I want to learn some like new chops. And he's like, yeah, totally, chops are cool, but you got a lot of those. I feel like you need to learn something else. I'm like, what do you think it is I need to learn? He's like, you need to learn this. And he pulled out a whiteboard and he just drew.
Yeah.
He goes, here's the start. He goes, and he drew a line that did different things. He goes, play that. Like, interpret that line for me.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
I was like,
Oh,
You've never shared that story. That's cool. I didn't know you studied down there.
yeah.
I want to do that. Thanks for that idea.
Yeah, it's a really and you should have somebody else draw it for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then you're forced to interpret.
Oh my God. Something else. I'm just visualizing. We need a partner. Maybe this already exists in here or other cities, but like a live drum solo art demonstration.
Oh.
We have like a
Ooh.
painter or like some artist doing live,
Ooh.
and then like drummers or 1 or 2 drummers are soloing over what they're
Interpreting.
doing in real time.
Oh.
How cool would that
That's
be?
a really cool idea, Dan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Nate.
Yeah.
Wow.
So formal on this
Yeah.
podcast. So polite.
So yeah, I don't know. I've been like lately. I've been saying the names of people I'm talking to in conversation more, and it probably makes me sound like an
that's
asshole.
everyone's favorite. You've heard that? Like your first name is favorite name. Like to hear your own name is actually really important.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I've heard that.
That's in the Carnegie book, I'm sure. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Just like approaching people and saying their first name,
Yeah.
but not overdoing it because that could come across super ingenuine.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
Exactly.
Dan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Every sentence.
But no, it was a good point about telling a story. I think of like those, like the world's fastest drummer, like the hands and I think there's one now for feet too.
Oh, there's definitely it's
right,
been-
and that's
yeah.
literally like data, right? It's like you.
Yeah.
There's like computer, like you either got it or you didn't. But like drum solo, especially a live setting where there's an audience, you're still entertaining
Yes.
the crowd. And,
Yeah.
I mean, we can all. I'm not even interested in naming names, but there are so many drummers that each of us, I'm sure, could think of who have incredible technique and just don't do it for me. I'm like, I don't they just don't interest me. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I'm jealous of that on a level that's like purely intellectual.
Yeah.
Like I'd really love to be able to do that. That'd be fun. Like, but I don't. It doesn't do anything for in here.
Yeah.
Nothing for my heart.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where the Guilianas, Benny Grebs, Garska, those
Nate
guys
Wood.
tell stories.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mason Guidry.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Juliana's one of my favorite drummers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He came to my hometown one day for the Winona Lake Jazz Fest.
Ooh.
My little small town of Winona Lake. He just blew
Is that in
my
Wisconsin?
mind. It's in Indiana.
Indiana. You said
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He tells stories. He is a storyteller.
Yes. In all ways.
Right.
Because he did the clinic here, and you said he started off by like going on he just kind of like
Tim
went on
Buell said that. Yeah, I didn't make
That's right,
it.
Tim, yeah. He said he just kind of he came out and talking about something, like just went on a diatribe about something going on.
Yeah.
And like not in like an unpleasant way, but just kind of telling a story, and then was like, okay, started playing.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was also, and I think Tim was making the point, like in that setting, because I think he was doing a clinic, or maybe he started the clinic with a solo,
Yeah.
and he had never been in that room. He had never been on those drums in front of those people. So like first, he had to make himself, present in the room and feel the vibe, and
Right.
then it's like, oh yeah, drums.
Yeah.
Let me do my thing with how I'm currently feeling.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Do you have that same mindset at Eastside Bowl? Was there any sort of like emotions triggering you one way or the other of like how you were gonna play?
I feel like maybe the one certain emotion that I felt was an emotion of, I don't know, just the one word that kept coming to my mind was honesty, being honest and being vulnerable and telling my story, because there was so many good drummers that, like, textbook, Byron should have beat me, I think. Byron was an amazing drummer and his chops are incredible.
Also lives in Indiana, I found
Also
out.
lives in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ran into him at the Eastside Jam like a week after.
Right.
We were talking.
Yeah.
Wait, so does he not? He doesn't live here currently. He just
I don't
visited?
think so.
yeah, he came down from Indianapolis.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Cool.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because Soundspace is based in Indiana, so maybe there was a connection there too.
Oh, interesting.
I think he had
Okay.
been to the main Soundspace there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
I say honesty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even
cool,
know if
yeah.
that's an emotion really, but just
No, but it's a leaning.
it's
Yeah.
a leaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leaning in that. Yeah.
That makes sense because honesty, you can only be your honest self, and that usually translates to other people.
Yeah.
Take it
Yeah.
away from drumming, but just if you were to do a job interview, you can't fake it. You got to be yourself.
Right. People smell that. Yeah.
Or relationship, dating, any of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing too is like believing what I'm saying and being present enough
Confident.
to hear it. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Being in tune with what you're doing enough
Yeah.
to hear it in the moment, and respond. And then other people respond in turn.
It's true, man. And when you're really connected to that, you can tell the difference. I'll give two examples that I love. One is, do you know who Kenny Werner is?
No.
He's this great jazz pianist.
Yeah.
And he, I think he teaches at Berkeley. I can't remember though. But he has an awesome book called Effortless Mastery.
Yeah.
And he gave a talk at Google. I believe it was Google. He's sitting there playing and talking, and he's like, he calls it the space, like when you get in the zone and you're in flow.
Yeah.
He's like, I call this the space, and the hallmark of this thing is when I'm doing this, and how I get there is I believe that every note that I play is the most beautiful note I've ever heard. And
Wow.
he's playing, and he's like playing very inside. And he's like, and it's easy when it's like this.
Yeah.
And he goes, but it's also true when I play like this. And he starts playing like super outside,
Yeah.
but somehow it sounds amazing. And he goes,
Yeah.
he goes, want to know the weird part? The weird part is you all hear it too. You can, he goes, it transfers to you.
Right.
All of you can tell that this sounds good because I believe it. I'm like,
Right.
And that, like, even now gives me goosebumps. Like,
yeah.
there's something else that's like a
Right.
deeper level.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You
Yeah.
can see that in great players. I saw
Yeah.
that. Do you know Andy Prado?
No.
You got to check out Andy. Andy's a monster, but he was in here maybe 6 months ago.
Okay.
I just brought him in here to hang out. And he just played these drums.
I haven't cleaned those drums since.
No,
Yeah.
no. But he
Haven't
played-
changed the heads or
No,
anything.
no. Why would you? He blessed the kit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep the blessing.
But he just sat down and played, and he plays for an artist named Sabrina Claudio. She's a
Oh,
pop
I love
artist.
Sabrina Claudio, dude.
Okay,
wow.
yeah.
Okay,
Andy plays
cool.
for her, and he's
Okay. I
he's
start to understand.
as you would imagine, he's a monster. But
Yeah.
he's even playing for an artist like that. He's more of a monster than you would imagine. Like he's even higher than that.
Oh, my Lord.
But he was in here and he's like, yeah, man, I'm rusty right now. I'm on tour chops. He goes, I'm not practicing at all because I don't want to bug people in the bus.
Right.
So he sat down and played, and I was like, well, it's remarkable how you, Rusty, and Cold sounds a lot like the best I've ever played in my life. And then he played for 2 hours, and about 30 minutes in, he was warmed up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. He really started opening up then.
Yeah.
But the thing I came to when he finished, by the time he finished playing, I was like, this dude believes in, I could feel it. I could hear it. I could feel it in me. He believes in every note he's playing. It like blew my mind. Like he's playing exactly what's in here, and that's it.
Yeah.
I was like, it blew me away.
Yeah.
You talking about that, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
More confirmation.
That is something that I strive to do.
Yeah.
Is every time I sit behind the kit, what's going on in here?
Yeah.
Breathing and being intentional.
Is breathing a big part of it for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
How do you approach that?
Deep breathing.
Yeah.
And also exhaling all the negative thoughts that don't serve me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing like I see.
Wim
this is
Hof.
Great. Yeah. Are you doing that like before you play, or are you like in the midst of your playing kind of doing that throughout?
I'm doing it right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm constantly
your demeanor
doing it.
since we met you has always been, I'd say, very chill.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
You know,
Yeah.
Thank you.
which is an attractive quality.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to have those. Like, yeah, man. I want to be attractive.
I want to be attractive.
I want to be attractive.
What about, so visually though, like, because this wasn't like a blind, from like I think of orchestral auditions where it's usually a blind audition because you want to remove those biases. But for the drum battle, obviously all that stuff is visual. We can see you play, and I think that translates. I don't remember if you were doing much. I don't think you were with stick tricks, and I think
No.
probably because you didn't need to. And I think that can be pretty cheesy if done in the wrong way.
I've never practiced it, so I know it would be so bad.
Yeah.
It would look so bad.
But do you have a mindset of, so maybe not twirling the sticks, but just how you're, that visual that you're giving off to the audience?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. I try not to think about that. When I start thinking about that, it takes me out of the moment. It really does.
Yeah.
Last night, I played a show in a garage. It was really hot and sweaty, but it sounded great. Yeah, my hair was in my face. I looked like a troll. And that's probably that's one of the reasons why I was able to be there.
Yeah.
That's what I try to move away from is like the image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think from what I'm hearing too, it's subtle, and I think it's like you're so confident with what you're playing. Like you focus on the actual performance. I think that does translate. Maybe you don't realize it.
Yeah.
Like if you had a mirror, you'd probably be able to see like, oh yeah, I'm sitting very like tall because I'm confident. I'm doing this fill, and very little things. It could be your eyes or the way you're stroking the drums. All that.
I rarely know how I look when I play drums. I mean, obviously, like I video myself playing and I go back and watch that. Yeah. But for the most part, I'm like, oh, I played this way. I didn't know that. Cool.
When you say you do that, do you do that in your practice, like as to review what you did in order to work on things?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I've been trying to get better at that. Just having another muse.
Yeah.
Because like I'm always trying to amuse myself, but also having a camera.
Yeah.
Cameras can take you out of the moment.
They can.
Yeah,
100%.
they can.
Yep.
It's a weird thing. I've had multiple times where I'm playing downtown and we're about to go into, like, I'm feeling like I'm killing. I'm like, I'm killing right now. Let me turn the camera on, and I'm like, hold on. I just felt myself slip right out of that thing. And I think there's multiple reasons for that. One is just the very act of taking my full brain out of the moment and thinking about turning on my phone, turning on the camera. And the other thing is like, now I know that the intention is for this to be seen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
At that point, you have to just set it up before the set, right?
Yeah.
Do that. Then just not
Set
even
it and
think about
forget it.
Yeah.
Set it and forget it.
I like that line. Set it and forget it.
Yeah.
I got to get more space on my phone.
I have to get more space in my mind
Yeah.
to like hold that extra. Oh, people.
We got to get you a GoPro or something.
We do.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I think I have one.
There you go.
I think I felt like I bought one like 3 years ago.
Do you wear the head mount or the chest mount?
Dude, that'd be
I've
next
never
level.
done either,
Okay.
but I should.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't done any of that.
Especially because
Yeah.
I'm like during these gigs, I'm talking so much shit.
Yeah, you don't want people to hear that.
No, maybe I think I do.
Now that you
Okay.
do,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
your content.
Yeah.
The kind of stuff those kind of stuff I'm saying to these crowds.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Spicy. I'll run my mouth.
Yeah.
We had a guy throw something on the stage. I
Oh,
can't remember what it
no.
was, but we're just immediately like, "Whoa!" We stopped the song. Like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
It might have been a drink. We didn't see who it was, and our bass player, who actually has a pretty big attitude, he was like nice about it in the moment. He was like, I don't want to like make threats or anything. I was like, I will. I'll beat the shit out of you if you do that again.
Oh my god. Hey, we're so glad you're here in Nashville. Throw us $100. We'll play anything you want to hear.
Like, let me just. I'm just gonna tell you, like, if I see something else come on my stage in the air, I'm gonna hurt you.
I
That's it.
will
Yeah.
come down from
That's
this.
the thing. I mean, the Broadway players, you have to like. I mean, there's security, but like during the set, especially when it's crowded like that, like you got to watch out for yourself.
Yeah,
There's
Yeah.
no one.
Mostly, you got to handle it yourself, and then
Yeah.
if you need somebody thrown out, you can get security later. Well,
Yeah.
hey, this guy just smacked my singer's ass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like
I'm gonna murder
I'm
him.
gonna murder him. Yeah.
Yep.
Which has actually happened. I was like, hey guy, I need to see you walking out the door right now, or I'm breaking your face all the way open.
You said that?
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, just a quick reminder. I literally grabbed the mic from my
Just
singer.
a PSA.
I was like, hey, just a PSA. Reminder for dudes to not just touch women without consent.
Yeah.
In fact,
that's
nobody touch anybody without consent, you fucking idiots. And I was like, so like, and
Yeah.
get this guy the fuck out of here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did.
Well, hey, man.
But
It's already out there.
It's out there. But that's quite a derailment. I want to come back to the drumming world that resides within the universe, which is Lleyton Brainard. So you mentioned Mark Guiliana as an influence. First of all, what have you gleaned from him and his playing? And then who are your other big influences?
Yeah. Good question. I think with Mark Guiliana, like we were just talking about, is like not only his playing, but his whole universe around what he's doing, his whole aesthetic,
Yeah. His whole demeanor.
his whole demeanor, the people he plays with. That is something that takes a lot of intention, is to put yourself in an environment where you're inspired, where you're being constantly renewed. That's something that can be hard as a drummer, because, playing drums by itself is great, but, sooner or later you run out of ideas. So just like being able to be in that space, that's something I see Mark doing, which is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'd say some other dudes are Jojo Mayer. I saw him play my freshman year of high school. Heard him talk. He has a
an
lot of good
interesting
things.
guy.
He's an intellectual
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I can't even remember everything he said, but it definitely made an impact on me deeper than my intellect.
Okay, yeah, JoJo. I see that.
Yeah.
JoJo and Mark, that's huge. JoJo to me is like one of the biggest hallmarks, is because he's clearly developed his touch so ridiculously through mastering all of the hand and foot techniques that there are.
Right.
Like when I watch him play, I'm like, it's all so effortless.
Right.
Yeah, he's got that fluidity down.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s, he did all the chops, all the technique.
Yeah.
and he became an absolute master.
He did.
And then the reason why he makes the music he does is to like bypass some sort of like ego thing that he had with that. And becoming more like a machine, it does take some sort of ego bypass, you know? But he's found such a balance between playing like Jojo as a human being and playing like a machine.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating to me. It's really cool.
He's a fascinating guy. I'm on the same page as you, man. I love his playing. And I feel like he's a guy who 10 years ago, I heard him mentioned a lot. People were like, oh yeah, Jojo. People were like really paying attention. I haven't heard him. People haven't been saying that recently, but I'm like, dude, he should be on everybody's list.
Yeah.
He's such a freaking monster.
He's a force of nature.
Yeah. So, okay, that's great. Mark G, Jojo.
Yeah. Danny Carey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
Danny Carey. Yeah. That was a tool
there
head.
we go. Storytelling.
Still am it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. One of the first songs I learned on drums was Reflections.
Okay.
By Tool.
Yeah.
And that song is a 12-minute long song. And it is the same tom riff the whole time. Same exact tom groove. But every other 4 bars, he has something new to say. Ting, 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 ting. And he just builds it and builds it for 12 minutes. Yeah, let's listen to some Tool.
Dude, let's go.
Yeah, man. Danny Carey for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Danny, I see that now. Yeah. That makes sense to me. He's got such a freaking musical mind. And I love that he's kind of like on the opposite end because people like, I would not call him like a technique guy at all.
No.
Like he's very much just like idea
sound
forward,
guy.
That's it.
Yeah. 14 mandala pads or whatever that he had. He was an astronaut.
Yeah, man.
And he changed my life for sure.
There was a long time ago, there was some sort of like, I don't know if it was Patreon, a Kickstarter or something, but you could pay to have these various levels of experience with Tool. And I think it was like through Maynard.
Okay.
But one of the experiences was like doing LSD and like getting into a Lamborghini with Danny Carey and having him drive you around. I was like, what? Well, first of all, I've never done LSD.
Yeah. Is this a real thing?
I swear to you.
I don't feel like Danny Carey drives a Lambo.
I mean, but he could.
I think he could.
He's definitely wealthy enough.
Yeah. He definitely is wealthy enough, but I don't know if he could fit in it. So first off,
he's a large guy.
That dude is a behemoth. And second off, I feel like I could see him more in like a Toyota Tacoma or something like that, you know?
Camry.
Yeah, I see that, but I also think like if you're Danny Carey, like if you're Maynard, I feel like you do that like Toyota Camry. I want like no one to know that I'm arriving. But if you're Danny Carey, you're like, no, I'm just gonna enjoy my life.
Yeah, for sure. And he deserves it.
Yeah, he does.
He deserves it.
I'm only recently really kind of diving into Tool more. Like I've always just heard them kind of peripherally and been like, yeah, this is
Are you
cool.
scared of the Tool gatekeepers?
No, a lot of the stuff just doesn't hit for me. But there are moments within Tool where I'm like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
That is such a cool idea. And I'm like, I owe it to myself and the fact that I'm interested in progressive music to go and learn those songs.
Yes.
There's like,
yes.
I need recommendations though. Because I've got a lot of, when you meet the like hardcore Tool fans, like, well, just like, it's all good. Just go listen. I'm like, no, but I can't, some of it for me.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
For sure. Yeah. I think there is something to growing up with those songs that I have just attached to them.
Yeah.
You know? And those are albums I can go back and listen to at 22 and still get something new out of.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I think Lateralis is one of the first albums I remember hearing as a human being.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Thanks, Dad. Thank you, Dad.
What a way to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And then you learned to walk after that.
And then I learned how to walk, yeah.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
I love that. Like, so how
Good
old
order.
would you say you were when you heard that?
Well, so I actually remember hearing the song Brenya by A Perfect Circle. That's the very first song I remember hearing as a human being.
Wow.
Probably, I'd say 9 months old. I'm not going to go as far as to say as a fetus, but I was very young.
But you remember hearing that?
I remember
Wow.
hearing that because I think there was just something there for me, even as a baby.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So literally, nobody believes me when I say this, but I can literally remember being a baby because of music. Like I hear that song and I remember my dad holding me as a 9-month-old.
Dude, how powerful is that?
It's crazy.
That's so
Whoa.
cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I haven't heard that before.
That-
I totally believe you. I'm sure other people have similar experiences.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it goes deep.
Wow.
And so when did drums come into the picture? How
So,
early on?
yeah, my dad bought, well, I don't know who it was, honestly, but one of my parents bought me a leapfrog drum.
Leapfrog.
Leapfrog. You remember those?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it was weird because they had like a little gaming console. It was like a knockoff Game Boy, but it was for learning.
Oh, yes. I
Leapfrog.
do know what those
So
are.
it was just one drum?
Yes.
It was just one drum.
Mhm.
It was just a digital like drum where you could switch the settings and it would you could do like the freestyle setting where you could play whatever you want, and then they had like the two other settings where it'd play a beat for you. But they knew when I set it on the freestyle setting, they're like, okay. Okay.
It's kind of time to go.
Time to go.
So that was pre-installed with Ableton 11.
right.
Start them young.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And then my dad bought me a kit when I was 2 years old.
Wow.
It was a cherry red PV International Series kit.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Cherry red, nice.
PV, that has not been the first kit of anyone else.
Yeah, that's guitars, right? Or amps.
They do make amps and speakers. But yeah, I don't know if they're still making drums, but for a while I never got to play one, but I saw
Yeah.
them advertised in Modern Drummer for like 5-6 years.
Isn't that crazy?
They were like the higher end ones were really interesting. They had like big fat wood hoop
Right.
thing. I was like, whoa, that's really
Right.
I always wanted to try them.
Yep.
Was that like middle of the range or that high end?
I think it was middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my compatriots from my hometown had
Yeah.
one, and I never got to play it. But I was like, oh yeah, he's got a PV. I was like, he's got
Yeah.
a PV.
Yeah.
I need to try
God
that.
damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always seemed normal to me because I thought PV just always made drums. Actually, I thought PV was a drum company
Oh really?
until I was like 8. And I was like,
Interesting.
oh, wait. They make guitars too.
They do, yeah.
Wait.
You've heard of Drum Supply, but you gotta see their shop. It's a drum shop experience like no other. They're packed with all the gear a working drummer needs, and so many parts, noise toys, and accessories. It's a toy store. Curated cymbals, kits, and snares. The hands-on percussion room is nuts, and their custom shop work is fast and affordable. Andy and the guys know their stuff, and they're ready to help. And the big news, they just launched Drum Supply Rehearsal, a 24/7 rehearsal space for drummers. Learn more and grab discount codes at drumsupply.com.
This podcast, this episode is brought to you by snow. Sometimes it snows when it's cold.
But not like New York.
not like
Pussies.
Indiana.
You know what? To your point, Dan.
Nathan.
One time when I'm from California, so like,
Oh, you are?
yes,
Okay,
yeah,
sweet.
yeah. I'm from Reading, so
Yeah.
I'm the guy that's like, man, it's not that hot because it gets to be 115 for
Yeah.
about a month straight.
Yeah.
And it's horrible.
Yeah.
And because it's so dry, air conditioning doesn't really do anything. Like unless it's like really, really killer air conditioning.
Lord have mercy.
It's hellish. So I'm like, even though the humidity is uncomfortable, I like it because if I get inside and I turn on AC, I'm instantly cool. I
Right.
love that.
Yeah.
I'll take the feeling a little nasty to feel cool.
Sure.
But there was a point to this. What the hell was my point?
I don't know. Something about
Dan?
snow.
Snow.
New York or something.
Oh,
I said,
that's right.
Maybe.
Coldness and New York toughness. One day when I was working at Daddy's Dogs and I was at Pins Mechanical doing one of my first times serving from a cart, selling hot dogs, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
I'm freezing cold. It's during the dead of winter here. I'm like layered up, just like huddling over the grill when hot dogs aren't being
Over
cooked. I'm
the
putting
glizzies.
That word takes years off of my life.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. I forgive you. I'll tell you the story about the G word in 2 seconds.
Okay.
But
Yikes.
if you've never been to Pins Mechanical, it's super fun.
It is
The
fun. I've
Free
been there.
arcade,
Yeah.
games and bowling and all this.
Yeah.
And there was a guy outside playing like their big dartboard, and he's in a t-shirt and shorts. And I was like, "Hey, buddy, where are you from?" He's like, "I'm from New York." And I was like,
Yeah.
"I knew it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew you were from New York." I'm like,
Yep.
"Cause that's psychotic. That's way too. This is way too cold for you to be." Just
Yep.
Uh,
Is he a big guy?
medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little thicker than myself, but
Yeah.
not, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, that guy's massive."
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, the G word, man, the G word.
what's up with that?
I had never heard that word.
Oh no.
And I swear to you that every human being that said that word to me
Right.
would never purchase a hot dog. I knew that if they said that, they
Wow.
weren't going to buy.
What is that?
So I literally I heard it a couple times. It was 2 nights in a row, and I swear to you, both times it was like this. Somebody runs up to where I was working, like, "You got the glizzies, bro? You got the glizzies?" And then runs away. Swear to God, 2 nights in a row, the exact same way. And I was like,
Dang, man.
I'm not familiar with that word, but I
fuck
hate
off.
the human
Yeah.
beings who
Yeah.
are saying it.
That
to
might
me.
be your best impression. Like I can
Glizzies,
put myself into
bruh.
where you were on Broadway.
It's
like,
always.
like I seething hatred for these people. Like I actually got to the point when I would be like looking them in the eyes,
Right.
and they would say like it would happen, and I would just go, "No, we sell hot dogs here. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but you can go away now." I can't.
That would that would scare
that
me
chunky
as the
face,
customer.
man.
like,
looking at
oh,
Nate's
I'm like,
eyes.
I will
Dude.
murder you if you keep doing this.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And glizzy
What a
is
time to be
always
alive.
uttered in the same sentence as bruh.
Yes.
Those
yeah,
words
yeah.
are actually interchangeable.
Yeah. Do you have the bruh? Oh, caught you slipping. Yeah, dude.
Got him.
Yeah, but that's my story about the G word.
Wow. Thanks.
That's
Thanks
hilarious.
for telling.
So you're from small town in Indiana,
Small town Indiana, Warsaw.
Warsaw.
Warsaw, Indiana.
Warsaw.
So
I feel like there's another one of those somewhere. Never
Poland.
yeah.
never heard of it.
Oh, yeah. It's
Okay.
small.
Two-parter here. When did you
Yeah.
move to Nashville? But first, what was it like growing up in Indiana
Yeah.
musically? What did you know, how did that contribute to where you are now?
Mm-hmm. I moved to Nashville in November of 2021.
Mm.
And I moved here because, well, let's just say it's a desert for music.
Yeah.
It's really dry for long periods of time. The only thing that happens there is bar bands, really,
Mm-hmm.
and really uninteresting bar bands. You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I moved here from Indianapolis, which probably was a little bit better. And I was in a wedding band, and
Oh yeah,
there
it was way
there's
better.
awesome bands that come through, like touring wise.
Right.
But to see the level I'm at now, just playing with different artists and songwriters, is totally different. You know, totally different level.
Yep. Yeah. I think I thirsted because I was in that desert.
Yes.
I needed an oasis. And there is definitely little oases throughout my journey in Warsaw. Like I recorded a project, or I recorded 2 records for a project named Real Face, because he was a mutual friend from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it was like a pop punk type thing that got me through.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I also had I was friends with the instructor for music at Grace College, and he played jazz. I think that's really where my interest for jazz started. Well, besides jazz band in high school and stuff, but actually learning how to play jazz and what it was, Wally Brath was the guy that said, "Come in, play."
Dude, God bless Wally.
God bless Wally, man.
Yeah.
He is a good man. He's 6'7". He's a whole lot of man. But he plays the keys like a tiger.
Wow.
A ferocious tiger.
I have a picture of a tiger playing the keys in my head.
Okay,
It's
well,
great.
Thanks for that.
should probably send that to me so I can make that his profile
ChatGPT,
picture.
create that image now.
Yeah, well, there's obviously keyboard cat is an image that everyone's familiar with, but just replace that with a tiger.
Right.
It's
You
just,
have Wally Brath.
It's just Wally. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I assume that guy looks like.
Yeah. He looks nothing like a tiger.
Okay.
I think he probably more resembles Slender Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Slender Man.
All right.
Yeah. But a really friendly Slender Man.
Nice.
A really gentle.
Friender man.
Yeah. Friender Man. Yes. And he plays jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about Warsaw. I mean, it takes a lot longer than a couple minutes to explain Warsaw, but it was pretty boring. And I think that's what created a thirst for me to move somewhere where there was a lot more music happening, a lot more people doing the same thing I was doing.
Yeah. So why Nashville? Had you been here before?
So I came here spring break of 2017. I think I was like 16 years old, and I loved it. But I didn't have any thought that I would move down here at that point. And then a couple of my best friends moved down here. Actually, Andrew Tyson from Real Face moved down here, and my best friend from high school, Sam Schmidt, moved down here. So it just fell into place. It was like I was meant to be here.
Yeah, it's not too far.
It's not too far.
It's 4 to 5 hours from
7 hours.
7, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll definitely make your katukas sore.
Yeah.
Katukas? Good
Your
word.
katukas. Katukas.
Look it. Love it.
So tell us, so you've been in Nashville now 3 years. No, sorry, 2 years.
Little under 2 years.
Little under 2 years.
Yeah.
How has the community been? Seems like it's been fulfilling that thirst for you. And what kind of projects are you getting into?
Yeah.
You know, are you trying to tap into recording, live projects? Are you going to your own band, or kind of what's the focus now?
Well, it's been amazing. I have met some of the coolest people that I've ever met in my life here. It's definitely been a blessing. I actually work at a skate shop, and so skateboarding and music goes hand in hand. It's literally the same thing. Like skateboarding is dancing on wood at a rhythm, and so is playing drums. So actually, like, I see a lot of drummers that come in the park and they skate better than everybody else. Musicians in general are just better at skating because they understand that rhythm and that flow.
Interesting.
I've never heard that described. That's really cool.
It's super cool to actually see it.
I've never skated. Well, always thought it would be fun to learn, but I'm also terrified to like just break my hands.
That is a very possible outcome.
Yeah, well,
that you should consider.
Right. I'm like, that would be, and I feel like doing it now for me would be like really tempting. That like, is there such a thing? Now tell me, Lleyton. Is there such a thing as like a almost like training wheels for skating for adults who have arrested development in the skateboarding department?
Yeah, I would say knee pads.
Knee pad, that's it.
Because you can cop out.
Yeah,
You can slide on your knees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or have your spouse or significant other or brother or whoever hold your hand. And do it together.
The thing is, there are enough of my friends who are like killer drummers who also skate. I'm always like, and like one of them, my friend Forrest Rice, he was always like, dude, like I get inspiration for drumming from watching skate videos.
Yeah, man, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Cool. So who are your skating influences? I mean, I don't know. I just think of Tony Hawk in the video game.
Tony Hawk he influenced me for sure. Yeah. I had his comforter on my bed and everything. Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Huck Jam. Love it. He's a great skater. But I love more street skating and quirky skating. Guys like Mark Suchu, PJ Ladd, P Rod. Yeah, just to name a few.
I'm going to insist at when we're done here that you send me some skate videos that I should watch.
Will do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's inspiring stuff, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things like that. I'll get like wildly inspired watching just like a really good dancer. Like that, dude, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at how they move.
Yeah.
It's like genius.
Yeah. And you're doing that on a wooden board with wheels.
Yes.
You're grinding and you're flipping.
It's
cool stuff.
awesome.
Stylish.
Yeah. That's it, man.
It's
style.
Yeah. Yep.
And to bring it full circle, I mean, into a drum solo and just like having that, having your personality speak, comes from all those areas of your life.
Right.
It's cool to hear that. Seems like skateboarding is an avenue. For you.
It's just another medium that I get to express myself in. Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah. But anyways, about my community, what I was saying, because I work in a skate shop, I've met most of my musical people in the skate shop because there's just so many musicians that skate. So I met my bandando veins through the skate shop. Our lead vocalist, Eli, came in and he was wearing a Perfect Circle shirt. I'm like, okay, you're my guy. Just immediately. We had this connection. And he starts talking. He's like, man, I'm trying to start this like shoegazy, like really like a Perfect Circle-esque thing, but we just need a drummer. I'm like, dude,
it just so happens.
If only you knew who you're talking to. And so we just started jamming. And that's like my passion project right now is music that I would listen to.
Yeah.
Not being a part of it even. I would listen to it. And we just released our first single last Friday. It's called Sunset Down. Available on all streaming platforms.
Sick. I can't wait to check that out.
Yeah, it's fun. And then we're looking to record this August, a little 4-song EP. But really, I mean, as far as touring and stuff like that, we don't really have that figured out right now. We just want to have good music to do stuff with.
That's way more important.
That's where it always needs to start, right?
Yeah.
Music and for the right intentions with your buddies, having a good time,
right?
And that success, and those goals will come.
Yeah,
when you decide on what it is that you want.
Yeah.
And it may not even be touring. We talked to Perry from Spirits Republic, and they're not. I mean, they do travel and they play different dates, but they're not like, I wouldn't say they're going on any tours, but they're having a ball and they're putting out music and they play locally and they have their friends come out and that can be just as fulfilling.
Yeah.
So
totally, man.
Yeah.
I'm also with a group called the Mango Furs, who I also met through the skate shop because our boy Chris is a surfer skater from Florida. So, and he's looking to establish like a residency at Brooklyn Bowl, which would be pretty sick.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah. They're trying to like do a weekly deck thing because the deck overlooks the Sound Stadium.
It does, yep.
So you literally get to watch the game, jam to some groovy indie, psych, hip hop type tunes, and have a good time. And I think that'd be every Thursday.
Yeah,
but,
keep us updated if that comes to fruition.
Yeah,
I've been there. It's a great spot.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, we played there not too long ago, and it was a good turnout.
Honestly, Brooklyn Bowl's become now maybe my favorite venue. Here,
it's amazing in there.
Have you played there, Nate? Or just...
I have not. I would love to.
I've only attended. Yeah.
I saw Leprous there, and they were mind blowing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I don't know. You into Leprous?
I've never heard of them.
Dude. If you like Tool and that kind of thing, give Leprous a spin.
Okay.
I think you especially do these last 2 albums.
Yeah.
They're both just like, I had in my brain when someone said, somehow I had transposed another band over. I was like, oh, it's like really like thrash metal, heavy metal type. No, it's like gorgeous.
Yeah.
Prog metal, like really moving and interesting stuff. But yeah, if you dig Tool, I feel like you will. They don't sound like Tool, but like your appreciation of that kind of thing will lead you to some appreciation.
I believe you, man. Yeah. I believe you.
Yeah.
Leprous.
Yep.
With that name, I would have figured they would have been a pop band.
Yeah.
That's a.
Can you imagine me a pop country band called Leprous? Oh my God! That's what I'm doing. I got to find like the most heavy metal sounding name and just pop country. Yeah, of course. Yeah. What did you think?
Right.
So you're not just like named after like the guy? Like it's not just like Jason Aldean? No.
No. Yeah.
Favorite spots to eat in Nashville?
Moss Tacos.
Great choice.
God, that place is too good.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
You ever had their deep fried avocado taco?
No, I have not.
Creamy. Oh, so satiating.
Ooh,
they put this like lime.
Good use of the word.
Yeah.
Crema fresca. I can't even describe it, man. Go experience it for yourself. Moss Tacos.
I'm due for another Moss Tacos experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another place. Let me see. I don't eat out that much, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This town's expensive.
It's true.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
What about you go to any Nashville sports, hockey or Titans at all?
Not really, man.
Nope.
No. Not really a sports guy.
Word.
Yeah.
I feel you. I'm not either. I have
But the new stadium.
Yeah.
That we all
approved. but we approved it. Yeah. I appreciate all sports. I think they all have there's something to be gained. We end up we talk about basketball on this podcast a lot because of
and tennis.
And tennis.
Don't even say it. The backhand story you tell every time.
That's true. I won't.
You could probably say it right now.
Yeah.
Do it. You say it.
I swear to God. Dare you to talk about Andre Agassi's backhand. But no, I'm with you. I'm like I don't really actually care about sports.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transporting balls across fields is cool, but I just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a great description.
Yeah.
From someone that you can just tell just despises the sports.
I love it.
Transporting balls. Yeah. That is what's happening.
Yeah. Well, it's great,
hilarious.
but as soon as I feel like you probably are on the same page here, like as soon as people start getting upset about how that ball was transported, then I'm like, hey,
you need to chill.
Yeah. Grow up though.
Yeah. And wearing shirts about the ball transportation too.
Yeah.
Dude. That's amazing.
I'm what size shirt do you wear? I'm making you a ball transportation
medium.
Shirt. Yeah, medium. How about this? This is the one I stole from Tim Ferriss that I love asking, which is, what in the last year is your favorite purchase you've made under $100?
Let me clear my mind for that one, dude.
I know. I don't even know what I would say.
He's just gonna say Moss Tacos.
Yeah. Under $100.
Or it can be slightly over, but just nothing that is crazy. The idea is to find something that was valuable that wasn't super expensive.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
That's
you
great.
Can let us know. Yeah, you can get back to us on that one.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You'll just send us a text, and when we're recording the intro for this podcast, we'll be like, oh, by the way, he wants you to know that his favorite purchase under $100 was
something's coming to mind.
Complete collection of Where's Waldo.
Right.
Yeah.
Something's coming to mind. It's just the first thing that came to my mind.
What is it?
The Vincent 5A.
Oh,
dude, that's my go-to stick.
Bro.
That's Vincent, not
Vincent.
Vincent.
Not because
You-
us Swedes,
Yeah.
we pronounce
There
things
you go.
differently.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
Okay, I got one final question to tie it back to the Drummer Duel.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, part of your prize package, besides a awesome drummers podcast, Drumhead,
Yes.
and this interview, you got a whole drum mic package from Shure.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
So I'm curious if
Yep.
if what your plans are with that. Any
Yeah.
sort of records or content or
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm just recording content on Instagram with it.
hell yeah.
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 That's great, man.
I'm not an engineer by any means, but I've had my Audix D6 in and the PGA, I forget what it's called, whatever that kick mic is that came with that package
Yeah, I
outside.
think it's 52 maybe. Whatever,
Yeah, whatever it is.
What a great package, especially for someone that,
Right.
who knows, you could become more into audio now just because you have the tools.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, man.
And okay, speaking of, where can people find you on Instagram and
Yeah.
other platforms?
Yeah. On Instagram, it's all lowercase soul, SOUL _cookie. That's right, cookie. COOKIE _00.
And okay, yeah, that's one question I forgot. What?
Soul cookie.
What's that
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. Basically, once you go onto my profile, it's a sweet little bite
Yeah.
for your soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a silly name for sure.
So your thing is being like a sweet treat for the soul.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
I wasn't
so
sure if you were like
wholesome.
eating little pieces of soul that you would
Oh,
put into a cookie. That's yours is much more positive.
yeah.
So do you
yeah.
like cookies though?
I love cookies.
Okay.
Not too much of them though.
What's your go-to flavor?
Probably my roommate Isaac makes these amazing cookies,
Yeah.
chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're amazing.
How do
But
you,
it's this particular recipe.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you: are you more of a obviously a fresh cookie is gonna be amazing, but
Right.
are you more of like when you have the chocolate chip cookie? Do you want it to be the soft and chewy, or do you want the crunch?
Soft and chewy.
Okay.
Soft and chewy.
I see.
And then it ages a day. And the inside is still gushy and it's still dopey.
Yeah.
But the outside does have a little bit of ruggedness
Yeah.
to it.
That's all. All right. All right.
Cool.
Dude, Lleyton, thanks so much for coming on, and congrats
for
again.
having me.
We're stoked to follow your ongoing career now, and
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. We'll follow your career with great interest. What movie is that from?
You've said that before on this.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. That's right. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nashville Drummers Podcast. If you've enjoyed these podcasts, please consider supporting us on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can help support this dream and keep the ball rolling for us. Believe it or not, it's not free or even necessarily cheap for us to make this thing go. To sign up, go to patreon.com/Nashville Drummers Podcast or click the link in our Instagram bio. All of your help is greatly appreciated.
Check out our new website, NashvilleDrummersPodcast.com. And if you're not already following us on Instagram, you can follow us at Nashville Drummers Podcast.
This episode was recorded at Diamond Sound Studios located in Nashville, Tennessee.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.